will broadcast for you the news in English on Radio Free Syria.
Welcome to our news hour in English. I am وموقعنا and I will be with you during this news hour from Radio Free Syria. We will start from the local coordination committees. By the end of Friday, the local coordination committees documented 100 marchers, including 5 women, 12 children, and 2 marchers on the Tocha. 28 marches were documented in Damascus and its suburbs, 18 in Daraa, 17 in Hama, 13 in Aleppo, 9 in Homs, 5 in Raqqa, 5 in Idlib, and 5 in Deir ez-Zor. The Free Syrian Army clashed with the regime forces in 110 locations, whereas shot a MiG warplane down in the east countryside of Hama and targeted an armored warship to the regime in Tel Uthman. In Homs, the FSA forced a siege over Tabqa military airport and defended several attempts of the regime forces to storm into the old neighborhood of the city and Al-Dar al-Kabira. In Daraa, the FSA was able to liberate the checkpoint of Janin residents and destroyed an armored warship also in Sheikh Meskin. In Aleppo, the FSA regained control on Saad ibn Waqqas Mosque in Salah ad-Din neighborhood. As in Raqqa, the FSA was able to liberate Chemistry Battalion. In Damascus, the FSA destroyed a tank 272 in Daraya and defended attempts to storm into the city of Daraya and targeted gathering of the regime forces and caused them great damages. We will start with Damascus and its suburbs. The Assad forces have spread all over Damascus as the roads were closed everywhere, especially the road who leads to the Umayyad Mosque in central Damascus. On the other side, the Assad army has shelled the city of Ma'adamit al-Sham. Heavy battles between the FSA and the Assad forces near to Sidi Muqdad checkpoint. In Daraa, the FSA has addressed the attempts of the Assad regime to enter the village of Sheikh Meskin. Heavy battles continued between the FSA and the Assad forces at Al-Zaffah bridge, which resulted in several deaths among the Assad forces. Moreover, Sham News Network said that the regime forces have shelled the southern neighborhood of Daraa by using rocket launchers and heavy artillery. Heavy battles between the Free Syrian Army and the Assad forces around the 38th Brigade that is still in hands of the regime forces. In Homs, the FSA has surrounded Al-Tabqa military airport that is located in Homs countryside. In Aleppo, the FSA have recaptured Saad ibn Abi Waqqas Mosque in Salah ad-Din. General news now. According to Reuters, rebels seized a air defense base near Syria's strategic southern international highway on Saturday, activists said, a gain that could bolster opposition fighting trying to secure supply routes to the capital Damascus. Syria's southern province bordering Jordan and Israel have become an increasingly significant battleground as the capital comes into play, with President Bashar al-Assad forces and Hais loyalist militias hitting back hard to prevent rebel advances. The British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Watch, which has a network of sources across Syria, said the base commander was among those killed in the 2-week battle for the air defense site in Daraa province bordering Jordan. Fighters from the Nusra Front, Yarmouk Marches Brigade, and other battalions seized control of the 38th Division air defense base near to the town of Saida on the Damascus-Amman highway after 16 days of fierce clashes, the observatory said. The Nusra Front is an Islamist militant group suspected of links to Al-Qaeda and blacklisted by the United States as a terroristic group. Its forces, which include foreign fighters, have come to increasing prominences in the revolt. Videos published by opposition activists show the cheering fighters driving tanks around the base and loading boxes of ammunition into flatback trucks. The rebels also said in the videos they had freed dozens of prisoners held at the base. A video uploaded by the observatory showed what it had said was the body of Base Commander General Mahmoud Darwish lying in a pool of blood in a bathroom. Other activist videos showed the corpses of soldiers in a camouflage fatigues scattered in the grass outside the base, shot in the head. It was not immediately possible to verify the pictures or opposition reports. The Syrian government has severely restricted access to Syria for foreign journalists and international aid groups. clashes near Israeli border. Fighting has also raged near the border with Israel, which is increasingly concerned Islamist rebels may be emboldened to end the quiet on the Golan Heights maintained by Assad and his father before him during their 4-decade rule of Syria. On Wednesday overran at least 3 towns near the Israeli-Syrian disengagement line but appeared to lose ground after militias loyal to Assad pushed them back in a fierce battle. Rami Abdulrahman, head of the observatory, has said he recorded one of the heaviest single death tolls for rebels in the fighting near the Israeli border. We have 35 fighters recorded by name and at least 20 more missing. This is a huge number to be lost in a single battle and shows how hard the Assad forces are fighting for these areas, Abdulrahman told to Reuters. He said the pro-government militias involved were made up of fighters from Syria's Druze minority, a sect which from some time had stayed on the sidelines of the conflict but now increasingly appears to be throwing its weight behind Assad. Their involvement could increase sectarian bloodshed in Syria, already racked by tensions between the Sunni Muslim majority that has led the uprising and the Alawite minority to which Assad belongs. Tit for tat, kidnaps and killings between the sects have become common as the uprising spiraled into a bloody civil war that has killed more than 70,000 people. Alawite opposition campaigners, increasingly concerned for the fate of their community as fighting continues, will meet this weekend to discuss options for supporting a democratic alternative to Assad's rule and try to distance themselves from security forces' attempts to crush the revolt. Also, according to Reuters, Syrian dignitaries buried at the divisive pro-government clinic at the capital ancient Umayyad Mosque on Saturday, choosing a side near the famous Muslim warrior Salah ad-Din and sparking outrage among Syrian opposition activists, said. Muhammad al-Bouti, the government-appointed imam of the ancient Umayyad Mosque, died on a Thursday night bomb attack on a neighborhood mosque that also killed at least 49 others. The 84-year-old cleric had been considered a scholarly figure withstanding throughout the Arab world, but became controversial when they threw his weight behind President Bashar al-Assad in the country's 2-year-old revolt. In a speech, he branded Assad's opponent as scum, and he also called in his last 2 sermons for a general conscription in the army to fight the rebels. Syrian officials buried Bouti on grounds beside the tomb of Salah ad-Din, heralded as a heroic warrior in Islam for pushing back the Crusades in the 12th century. The Umayyad Mosque is Islam's 3rd most important landmark. The decision granted with the mostly Sunni Muslim opposition that is fighting Assad, who is from the minority Alawite sect that has dominated Syrian politics for more than 4 decades. The funeral, held with the tight state security that blocked roads and caused traffic jams across Damascus, highlights regional political divisions created by Syria's 2-year-old conflict. The uprising, which began as a peaceful protest, has evolved into a brutal civil war that has killed more than 70,000 people until now. Opposition activists saw Bouti, a Sunni Muslim, as a screen for Assad's government to claim legitimacy among Sunnis. Sunni militant groups have risen to the fore of the rebel movement over the past year, which Assad has used to justify his long-held accusations that the revolt is a terroristic plot. The Umayyad Mosque is home to a rich tradition of Islamic scholarship and has been symbol of the modern middle-way approach to Islam. The secular Assad government has championed itself since the uprising as protector of the middle way. Opposition activists voiced anger on the social media at the decision to bury Boutis beside Salah ad-Din's tombs. Burying Bouti next to Salah ad-Din is a deliberate insult, activist Walid al-Akhtar wrote on his Twitter page. "Oh Salah ad-Din, forgive us, we are sorry," wrote another activist who goes by the alias Syria Mubashir. "Come down on them with your wrath." Videos from the funeral broadcast live on state television showed a crowd of men carrying his white draped casket into the mosque. Boutis was assassinated on Thursday evening while delivering his weekly religious lecture at the neighborhood mosque in central Damascus, in an attack state media labeled a terroristic suicide bombing. Rebels groups denied responsibility for the bombing, arguing they would never attack a mosque. Before Bouti, the current head of the opposition National Syrian Coalition, Muaz al-Khatib, was the Imam of the Umayyad Mosque. Al-Khatib was toppled from the post and imprisoned in 2011 when he voiced support for the protesters and later was exiled. Al-Khatib said in a statement on his Facebook page that only the regime could have been behind Bouti's death, but also stressed the importance that places of worship and clerics not to be attacked despite political differences with the opposition. The killing of Dr. al-Bouti is a crime in every sense of the word, he wrote. No matter the differences that clerics in Syria may have in their view of the situation, this does not allow for the miraculous killing of Muslims or the defilement of mosques. At the funeral, the government-appointed Grand Mufti of Syria, Ahmed Hassoun, gave an emotional eulogy. Earlier this month, he took the unusual step of issuing a fatwa or religion edict calling for Syrians to join Assad forces as a sacred duty. Hassoun said Hassoun's son was killed by rebels in late 2011. "O God, disperse and displace them. Come down on them with your wrath," he wailed. "O God, the rebels, have displaced us and killed our scholars." This is it for today. Thank you very much for listening. I am وموقعنا, along with me, Executive Manager Islam. Please follow us on freesyria.webs.com. You can also reach us through Skype on Syrian22. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Right now, we will broadcast for you the news in English on Radio Free Syria.